What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be doing this first ever horror story, and I got my little pillow just in case I get scared. Okay, let's get right into it.
It's been about 10 years. I was in my early 20s and I went on a trip to the countryside with my girlfriend for vacation at that time. I don't remember exactly how many days we went around, but what I experienced at the motel on the first day is still memorable. My girlfriend and I arrived at the bus terminal without any plans. The sun was going down already and we were tired, so we decided to stay at a motel near the terminal as soon as we got off the bus.
Not that motel.
I think the problem was that we entered anywhere nearby without considering the location. After having a good time with my girlfriend, I fell asleep deeply, and suddenly my eyes opened for no reason. For your information, I tend to fall asleep very deeply when I fall asleep, so I don't wake up unless someone shakes me. But my girlfriend, who was sleeping next to me, tossed and turned, and I ended up waking up slightly because of her movement. I opened my eyes slightly and watched my girlfriend turn around by the bed and go to the bathroom. And at that moment, I saw a black shadow following her. It wasn't a shadow of my girlfriend, but it was a black shadow with hands and feet moving separately. No eyes, no nose, no mouth, but it was just like a human being. I didn't believe in ghosts and strange phenomenon without scientific evidence, but I definitely thought something was wrong. When I woke up, I jumped out of bed and ran to the bathroom where my girlfriend went in. I tried to open it, but the door wasn't open. And then I heard a middle-aged man laughing inside. I remember clearly because I wasn't drunk and I was already awake, certainly. Turning the locked door handle, I shouted my girlfriend's name. "Babe, open the door!" But no sound was heard from the inside, and the door was not open. I still can't remember whether the next scene is a dream or a reality. When I pushed the door with my shoulder, the door finally opened. But she was not there, and the bathroom was empty. I thought for a long time about what happened and came back to bed in order to get back my senses. I almost fainted when I saw it. My girlfriend was standing on the bed, smiling fiercely at me. I've been dating her for almost 2 years, but I've never seen that creepy smile before. I don't remember exactly whether she opened her eyes or not. I just grabbed her by the shoulder and shook her, but she slipped back to sleep. I couldn't fall asleep that day, and I waited until dawn with my open eyes. I woke my girlfriend up as soon as the morning came and escaped from the motel hurriedly. When I went out of the motel and asked her if she remembered what happened yesterday, but she didn't seem to know anything. I didn't say anything to her either because I thought she'd be scared if I told her about it in detail. This is all my story. But now, 10 years later, I suddenly remembered this incident and searched the motel. And turns out there have been several murders and suicides over the decades. The media didn't put the name of the place directly, but I'm sure that the place is right after reading several reviews of the accommodation. Of course, I still don't believe in psychic phenomena. But after that day, I stopped going to the motel again.
Okay. Pretty nice one. Time for the next one. Okay. Next story.
Before we start our scary story, let's talk about the most terrifying fear of all. Opportunities slip away and haunt you forever. Click the download link below and start making money with Honeygain. I don't know if I'll ever be happy again. I'm a 25-year-old single dad. My high school girlfriend Samantha and I had our baby in the very first year of our marriage. Our son Liam has autism, but I never treated him different. But unfortunately, his mother did. Samantha couldn't love him, and I still don't understand why. Because Liam always loved her, Whenever she came close to him, he stretched his loving arms just to be in her lap. But Samantha turned her face away in disgust. Our marriage didn't last. After a certain point, she wanted nothing to do with our son or me. She left me for some rich guy. But I was happy and proud to be Liam's father. He's a bundle of joy, and he means the world to me. Many of my relatives told me to remarry, as a dad isn't enough to raise a baby. But I wanted to prove them wrong. Parenthood doesn't depend on gender. It depends on love and care. Liam and I built our small world with joy. He would often look out the window and point to the neighborhood kids, saying, "Dad, they say I'm different. Different, am I?" He repeated words due to his autism, but I always made him feel strong. I said, "Yes, they are right. You are different. You are more kind, joyful, and mostly strong than any of them. That's why you're different. Don't let anyone tell you less than that." And the smile on his face rose again, hearing this. Liam's brain had a slow development, so though he is 9, he behaves like a 5-year-old. I could see people noticing him whenever we were out, but I always kept my head high so that he realized that his dad was proud of him. Parents need to stand up for their kids, and I did exactly that for my son. Liam and I always went out for dinner every Friday night. He loved eating burgers, so Friday night was fast food night. Similarly, one Friday night, I drove him to the mall. After playing in the gaming section for almost 2 hours, we got hungry and decided to have some dinner. Liam wanted to have a burger, so I took him to Wendy's, 20 minutes from the mall right beside the highway. The restaurant was not as crowded as I expected. Liam and I sat down at a corner table. I took a quick look at the menu and then walked to the counter to place our order. A young Wendy's employee was standing behind the counter. He gave me a courteous smile and said, "Welcome to Wendy's. May I take your order, sir?" "Yeah. We'll have 2 grilled chicken cheeseburgers, 1 medium fry, and 2 Sprites." "Okay. Please have a seat and I'll bring your order to you." "Thank you." After paying, I returned to my seat and noticed Liam staring at the exit with a smiling face. Generally, he smiles at every passerby, so I thought he must have seen someone outside. However, I didn't see anyone outside. I talked to him about how much fun we had when Liam looked over my shoulder, ignoring me. The shop bell rang, and I heard footsteps behind us. Turning around, I saw a woman in her late 40s entering the restaurant. Everything would have been entirely normal if she didn't dress like the red-headed girl in the Wendy's logo. She wore 2 ponytails and had excessive makeup to look like a kid, which backfired. Instead of looking innocent, she looked creepy. Her eyes were light green, making it even more bizarre when she smiled at us. "The Wendy's girl. Look, Dad, Wendy's girl." Yeah, she looks somewhat close to that. She's real. Real she is, right? I got weird vibes from this woman the moment she entered this place. The guy behind the counter also seemed uncomfortable having this out-of-place customer. The 2 to 3 people eating there started to whisper among themselves about her unusual appearance. Needless to say, none of them were used to seeing what they were seeing. Meanwhile, the food came, and Liam's attention shifted from her. I also concentrated on my food. I just wanted to finish early so we could go home. Why are you laughing, Liam? The spoon on her nose. Her nose looks funny. I looked at the woman, and she was doing some kiddish stunt to make my son laugh sitting at the corner table. She stuck a plastic spoon on her nose and made funny faces, which looked quite disturbing. But she wasn't doing anything wrong, so I couldn't confront her about her behavior at the moment. We were almost done eating when the woman walked up to our table. "What's your name? Is it Mr. Smiley Face?"
Okay.
"Liam. I'm Liam." The woman completely ignored me and started to talk to my son like I wasn't even there.
Jeez.
Do you like my hairstyle, Liam? You're funny. Funny. So, where do you live? Excuse me, do you mind? Liam, where do you live? I was stunned by her audacity. Even as I asked her to back off, she wasn't budging. The woman raised her dirt-filled, bony fingers and went to caress Liam's cheek. I slapped her hand and said, "Whoa, back off from my son." "You're a rude father. I was just trying to play with him." "Well, just leave us alone, or I'll have to take some serious steps." "Is there a problem here, sir?" The Wendy's employee came too, and I told him how weird this woman was. The employee apologized on her behalf. He told the woman to either sit and eat quietly or leave the restaurant at once. Hearing this, the woman's eyes widened in fury, and she said to the employee in her shrill voice, "What? You can't throw me out of here. I'm the Wendy's girl. Can't you recognize me?" "Ma'am, please go take your seat. You're making everyone uncomfortable here." "Shut up, you peasant."
Excuse me.
Son, we're grabbing burgers for dinner if you're interested. I'm vegan, Walter.
Wait,
You had
you're
bacon
vegan?
for
Ew,
breakfast.
gross.
Go to hell with your restaurant. The woman insulted the employee and did something even more hateful after that. She walked up to her table, spat on her food, and bumped the table on the floor. Creating a big scene, she left the restaurant. What a psycho. You should call the police and report her. I will. We have CCTV for a reason. The employee went to call the cops, and I left the restaurant with Liam. We sat inside our car and drove home.
With Liam.
The neighborhood we live in is still under construction, so very few houses had residences. After sundown, it felt like an abandoned village. I was unlocking the door while Liam stood beside me. What is it now, Liam? I asked without looking at him. She's making faces again. What are you saying? The Wendy's girl. My stomach dropped as soon as Liam said this. I felt my hands getting numb. She has a knife, like the one in our kitchen. I immediately turned back and saw that freaky woman dressed like the Wendy's girl was now running at me at full speed, holding a big sharp knife in her hand. There was hatred in her eyes and anger on her face, but her creepy smile still retained. She looked like the Wendy's girl from hell. I started to panic as I had no weapon to protect my kid or myself from this psycho woman. I prayed to God for the door to unlock somehow. It was the easiest task of my day, but that moment, it felt like the most challenging job I was compelled to do. Her crazy chuckle was coming closer, and when she was a few inches away from striking me, I managed to open the door and drag Liam in with me. But even though I got in, Liam got stuck in between as the psycho woman grabbed his other hand. I like this kid. Let him go, you witch. I tried to free my son's hand from her grasp, and she stabbed me in the arm. Writhing in pain, I let go of Liam's hand out of reflex, and the woman picked him up and started to run. The knife was stuck in my flesh. I was bleeding horribly, but I still got up and took the knife out. Piercing my veins, the knife came out, spilling blood like a horror movie. Dad! Dad! I heard Liam's cry and watched the lady running down the road abducting my son. I ran like a cheetah. I forgot about my wound. All I wanted was to save Liam. She might be one sick psycho, but she wasn't faster than me. I caught up with her, grabbed her red hair, and pulled her so hard that a patch of her bloody scalp came out. She screamed in terrible pain and dropped Liam on the hard concrete. Liam's head hit the ground, and while I was busy picking him up, the lady ran away. It's been a week since my son has been in a coma. The Wendy's guy has filed a complaint about this woman, and I, too, have been to the cops. They're searching everywhere for her, but still no lead. I'm pretty sure it'll be hard to recognize her without the Wendy's girl costume. Day and night, I'm praying for my son to wake up and that psycho woman to get arrested for what she did.
But anyways, even though that, well, I mean, that was a long story, but anyways, that's all for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button in the face. And subscribe, hit the notifications, and see ya.